That's fine, dude. Well, it's classic. It's
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 10th episode of the Open Fort podcast. I'm Naturesbf. Joining me are my co-hosts Rens and Pheylop, and our special guest of the week, Saintvicious. Saintvicious, welcome to the show.
What up, man?
Thank you so much for being on here. Gonna start right away asking you just two questions. By the way, you may remember Saint from the League of Legends scene. He was a professional coach as well as a professional player in the league scene for a long time. Saint, just a question for you right off the bat. It's two questions we give to everyone. First of all, how's your streaming? How's your laddering going? And second of all, how did you pick your name, Saintvicious?
My name, I think I made this name when I was like 10, 12 years old. So, I just kind of had it with me forever. It's like from Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
Vicious, the bad guy. And I don't even know how I got Saint in there. I was like 10 or 12 or whatever. So I thought I was being an edgelord, I guess.
Okay.
And then the laddering, I play on like 3 or 4 different accounts. So I'm not really like super hard grinding up the ladder, but all of them are like 200 LP. I play a lot on Europe too, I think, because it's just easier to get the games. Like there's like twice the player base. Right. And I think you're like more likely to get, a lobby full of challenger players. Whereas on NA, you'll get like half the lobby will be like Diamond 3 people. And, like the MMR games aren't good, or like the game's not good quality.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, sometimes it'll be like, not just like Diamond players. Sometimes you'll have the one person in chat's like, wait, I'm gold. I mean, they probably have way higher MMR, but it's like, Anyway, thanks for being on the show. Rens, Pheylop, how's your laddering going?
pretty good. I got my Smurf 2 challenger on EU now, so I got 3 challengers. Now we can actually start grinding.
You need
my
3
main
first.
account. Oh, I don't know. I just wanted like it's a thing, right? If other people have 3, I also want 3. Like that's how it goes, right?
Okay.
Hydra has 3, Tabs has 3. Now I want 3 as well. So now I can actually start grinding my main, and hopefully we get top 1.
Well, Keen probably has like 6 by now, so you got to get 6.
I mean,
I don't actually know how many I has.
It's just with my friends. I want to be at the same level.
Pheylop, how's it been?
I was away this weekend, but I got comfortably challenger before I left. So I had enjoyed my little brief stay in Diamond 1, and then I climbed back to like 150 or so, and then I left for the weekend. And I came back, and you have 1 million points. So yeah, you should tell us about your laddering experience recently.
Fogies.
Well, I had a really good day where I like 6 hours of streaming, didn't get any bottom 4s. And then the next day I came and I wasn't playing very well, played off stream, and then I did well. So I don't know. I've been playing, we'll talk about this later, but I've been playing so much Elemental Sorks, and everyone's playing Brawler Assassins, and Kennen plus Morgana tends to be good against Assassins, so it's been pretty nice.
Ooh, sneak peek to the meta.
Yeah. I feel like people only play Assassins in EU though. Like y'all go in like NA and like nobody plays Assassins.
I run to about 2 per game, which isn't quite the EU level, which is like the whole lobby, but I run about 2 per game. At least that's been my experience, and that's why I think that's a large part of the reason why I've had Elemental Sorks working well. But just in general, the comp just feels really solid, and no one else I feel like is playing it. Which I don't know. Everyone else wants to play brawlers, and it's been going really well. So, anyway, Saint, back to you. I have a question to you about just you going into the auto chess, auto battler genre. You came from the league scene. I'm curious about what about the auto chess genre kind of grabbed your attention, because you played auto chess for quite a long time. Then obviously as soon as TFT came out, just like the rest of us, you swapped over to that. So I'm curious about what about that genre grabbed you, because it's an incredibly different game from League of Legends, right?
I mean, I played League for like, I don't know, 7, 8 years. God knows how long. So I was just kind of like bored of that genre. And I mean, I played Dota as well when I was like younger. So I've been playing MOBA for, like almost half my life, really, if you think about it. So I just kind of like bored of that, kind of like that genre, and like the whole, I don't want to say community aspect of it, because everybody's just toxic and shits on each other. But,
Yeah.
I feel like the auto battler community is a lot more chill. And I mean, like nobody rages. Like, what are you even going to rage about? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's like a person every now and then, but I think it's just like a lot more relaxed. And it's like kind of has like that Hearthstone feel where you can do other things while you play it, or I don't want to say like you have like your full attention on it, but it's like let's say like you're streaming, you can like actually interact with people and
absolutely.
and things like that. So it definitely has like a different feel to it than like more fast-paced games and games that need your full utmost attention. So I like that vibe.
Well, I mean, I say that I can interact with my chat, and then I roll past the 9th Rengar. So I don't know. Depends. Awesome. So we're going to be talking a bit today about esports to start off, because there's I think we're having a tournament this weekend that is, I feel like it's one of the first in the West that has been invited based off mainly skill level, and I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. Like if you look at the lineup for it, which you're gonna see right now, it is a really stacked lineup. So I'd like to talk about that, but first of all, I want to mention the esports scene is there's growth to it. There's teams that are interested in it mainly. So if we look at G2, they just acquired Hafu. We look at Liquid. We have Saintvicious right here. Also, there's Hyped and Tabs that they're from Auto Chess. And Cloud9 has K3 Soju, Krone, and Jayscrit. I'm messing up those names for sure. So there's like quite a few acquisitions, so that's really cool. I'm excited to see where that goes. Obviously, we don't have much information from Riot yet if they're gonna do anything. But anyway, the question I want to start with is if a competitive scene were to be made for TFT, which my guess is it will be at some point, but I don't know when that'll be. We don't have a spectator mode yet. But what kind of format, or what is in the format that you're looking for that would make it make it good for you? Like what are you looking for in the format? What do you want the format to be? And this is like an open discussion because I think it's a very complicated topic. So if anyone wants to jump in.
Yeah, I can join. I like the problem with this is like the variance in this game, right? So you want to play as many games as possible, but you also don't want to play like 10 games on a day. That's really draining and like it doesn't feel right as well. So I think we talked about it a little bit yesterday. Like something like a league system where you play every weekend a couple of games, and then you like after like a couple of games you get like paid out who's like the best after like a few weeks or something like that. That would be awesome. Like something like that would be sick.
Yeah. So
I think it should be like a point system where it's like where you would play like however many games per week, and then like let's say your placement, and that gives you whatever points, and then you're like building up towards like the end of the season. Whoever has like the most points go into like some like playoff bracket or something like that. But I think just from a spectator standpoint, nobody wants to watch like 10 games be played or something. It's just not entertaining. I don't know if you guys watched OGN. They had like their auto chess series for Korea. Did you guys watch that?
I watched very, very little of it.
But it's just like the game. I feel like the games have so little impact. Like each individual game doesn't feel like it's impactful enough. So from a spectator standpoint, there's not like high highs and low lows. Like there's no like moment in the game which is like gonna pull you in, And then even in like TFT and auto chess, there's no like what is the most exciting moment that can happen in the game. So I just think it's like a spectator. Exactly. So I just think like that's something that the genre needs to think about is a way to just make the game more like touchy, like more like grab you kind of feel. I think that's a big thing. If anything, I actually think that these games are not really. You guys talked about like C9 picking up people, Team Liquid, all those people. It's more those people were more picked up. I feel like as like streamers and content creators, more of like the Fortnite route. Which, actually just ends up getting more pull for the orgs anyways than somebody's going to be like in a tournament system. So I just think that's like a lot of stuff that has to be thought about.
I mean, it's interesting, but I feel like already converted from DAC to TFT, they had introduced things that would be more spectator friendly. Like I think the carousel is supposed to be a spectator friendly thing that makes it more interesting to watch. And so I think the point system like is cool over a long period of time. Saint had a point in that the games feel less impactful. I also don't know how you keep people who do poorly in the beginning incentivized to keep like trying their best as time goes on, because if the game quality goes down, that's not really good for viewership either. and I don't know what the perfect answer is. I think Riot doesn't know either, which is why nothing has happened yet. But they did say they do intend on working on it. So I'm kind of curious in what direction it goes. Even though I think like the Grandmaster League that Hearthstone has is like a okay system for the time being.
One of the issues with the carousel being one of the exciting parts is it is really unrealistic for the casters to know, and the people watching to know
Yeah.
all 8 things that the people want, right? Like, what are they actually going for in this carousel? Like, it can be really exciting if they can find the one person that really needs X, right? And that's huge. Or if there's like something insane, like like Cho'Gath of last meta, then okay, sure, maybe you can add some excitement there. But there's kind of an issue that a lot of the time if you're trying to spectate 8 people, you're not gonna know what every single one of them wants at the carousel, unless you probably miss a lot of like what should be an exciting moment, but won't be. And it's also just still it's not the explosive team fights of League of Legends, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think there's just like that grabbing moment. So to be honest, like, I mean, maybe I'm just like a pessimist, but I mean, I've like talked to Riot too, so like I know like kind of some of their plans. I can't really talk about it, but I don't see this game taking off as like the LCS. It's not going
Right.
to be that. It's just not going to be that. Like, there could be like a tournament system and a way for people to be incentivized to like try hard and climb up the ladder, but I don't think it's going to be how people think like it would be.
I don't think we expect to have like a big LCS system, because it's probably like a little bit smaller as well. But the thing is, I would like to play some tournaments. I mean, the streaming and all is fine, laddering up is fine, but I like the feel of competitive games. It would be really nice if there were some more tournaments right now. And I think Riot is probably working on like fixing the games first. There are still a lot of bugs in the game, Assassin being AFK and stuff. So hopefully after that they'll maybe put some work into some tournaments.
So, do you guys think that if a tournament system was made, would you guys prefer it to be run by Riot, have Riot be funding it, or would you want it to be third party? Because I know if you look at League of Legends, go back like 4 or 5 seasons, that everyone got. I think it was season 3. Saint would have a way better knowledge of this than I would, but season 3 is when they moved away from having an open circuit and they ended up having the league system, and people were pissed about that for a while. It seems like people are okay with it now. But would you guys prefer to have Riot run everything, or would you want to have that that feel of there's a DreamHack here, which I don't know if that DreamHack would be to this, but just an examples, DreamHack, IEM, those kind of tournaments, or would you prefer to have Riot run a league?
I mean, there's like pluses and minuses to a lot of that. Like, let's say like when I played earlier League, it was cool being able to travel different places, playing tournaments. There's like a lot more hype. I felt like there was like a lot more on the line. Like if somebody played in even like an IEM or something and they won that, it felt it just felt a lot more evolving and more impactful than it's like, all right, Clutch Gaming versus Dignitas, week 3, game 2 or whatever the fuck. Like,
Right.
Nobody cares about that, right?
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of like things that are good and bad about it. I think that if they were to do a tournament system, I'm pretty sure that Riot would probably have like most of the control over it. I mean, that's just how that company is. They're very touchy about any company being involved in their games, and that's pretty much why they moved over to the LCS, is because they think that like they need to make like the best product possible, and, like the highest quality like viewing experience. Like, it needs to be like, this is the quality that you should expect from League of Legends or from TFT. Right. And I don't know if you guys remember like watching like MLGs or IEMs and stuff like back in the day, where it'd have like massive delays or like the shit be like fucking up all the time, right? So I think that's just like something that they think about.
So do you think about they want to do that for TFT as well, or do you think they want to organize them themselves, or do you think they don't really want to?
Well, I think that they're going to probably just let third-party tournaments be run until next year, at least my understanding. Okay. And then once the game's out of beta, because the game is in beta, like there's so much shit there's so much troll shit that happens in the games that like, you can't have that. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's like probably like 3 or 4 months out before like even that kind of stuff could even be talked about, which is a long time in like the life of a game. But I mean, they have like that Twitch Rivals tournament that they announced today, and I'm sure they'll invite the best people to that. But yeah, so they're just like tournaments like that. So you have like a lot of those like viewer based tournaments that are just kind of like for fun. Which I think are actually, to be honest, more entertaining than if you just had like all the best players show up. Like people want to watch like streamers duke it out and like personalities. Like that's what people want to see.
Exactly.
That's what grabs the audience. So I think you should expect more of that, and then kind of like less of like a super competitive nature kind of thing going on.
Yeah, especially for now. Like if you start out with inviting a lot of streamers and personalities, then you kind of want to keep that going. I feel like when I watch Dota games, like most people don't even stream, but I would really like to watch them play at a high level. So if you start out with like inviting streamers, you probably have to do that all the time, or probably not going to be interested. Like the number one on NA is like the male guy. I think like he doesn't stream. I think
He doesn't.
I don't think anyone cares if he plays in the tournament. I mean, maybe some people, but like most people care more about
You want to follow the people you're a fan of, right?
a low challenger streamer or something, right? Like that's what would bring in more viewers.
Well, especially
Probably.
when you're.
Oh, it's just mainly about like creating storylines.
Yeah.
Like that's like one thing that they always talked about a lot in the LCS is like it's like TSM versus CLG. There's like a storyline behind it. It's and it just creates like more depth to the games rather than Milk GG beat Dark Hydra and whatever the fuck game, and like nobody's gonna care. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's just.
Hey, I would care.
Hey, you would care, but your average
Yeah,
Joe that
yeah.
gets off his 9 to 5 job and is like, "Oh, you let me tune into this."
But
They
let's say
don't-
they both get picked up by a team. Would they care more? Let's say it was Fnatic, Hydra, and whatever Milk. Or would they care more? I don't know.
I
Then
feel
still
like-
a team versus a team.
I feel like people are usually a fan of the team within the game rather than the organization. And that's been my experience. Is I'm a fan of some organizations as well, but like when I used to watch League, like I would care about the actual 5 players of the team rather than the actual logo that was behind it.
I think there's like layers to it, isn't there? It's like teams have like identities, like what they're kind of like. Let's say like 100 Thieves, right? Like
yeah,
that feel like they have like that streetwear like lifestyle brand
Right.
feel to them, right? And that's gonna like bleed into their teams and all that. And then you have like TL or whatever. They're pretty much like the performance team, like they're Moneybag Steve, all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. It's like you have like that overhanging like kind of just feel to the whole thing. Like even if the team is completely different personalities or whatever, and like that's why you like them, but it still has that
culture still. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just their identity as a brand.
Yeah, that's true.
And it really depends what's like the most powerful thing, right? Like if you had like Dignitas that literally got morphed into like Dognitas based on like personalities that were like super strong on the team, that like kind of like gave it more personality than the organization itself, then that could happen too. Like, I thought I loved C9 for a long time, and then like Jensen went to Liquid, and I was like, oh wait, like I actually only care about this one player. And like I was like, oh, that's weird. I have loved C9 for so long, and I realized that I actually just really like the one player. And like I think it's hard to tell what you love about an organization until certain things change, and when something changes and you don't care about them as much and you care about something else. But right now, because of TFT is kind of just starting out, people don't have anything to cling to yet. There's nothing to cling to except for people who are already successful streamers.
Right.
So like that's what they're gonna care about in tournaments. That's how I feel about it, at least.
Yeah, and you're not gonna. I mean, like, does like let's say Hafu going to G2, does that change like your view of her at all, or how you view like G2? Probably not, right? So it's just still.
Wait, someone cut out?
I think
Sync cut out.
Yeah, I use push to talk. So
Okay. No, you're all good. All right. Well, this is it's kind of a side topic. You mentioned earlier, Saint, that you play on both NA and EU. Like quite a bit. Rens plays a bit on NA and EU. I literally only play on one account, and Pheylop, I think, has 2 accounts. I don't know.
I dabble on a couple, but
Okay.
I mainly play on one.
So I want to ask you, because I think you have the most perspective on this. Have you noticed much of a difference between the two regions of NA and EU? The ones that you've played on, obviously. Have you noticed, like, in terms of meta, in terms of skill level, in terms of whatever? Because that's something that I'm asked about all the time in Twitch chat. I see people ask all the time in other Twitch chats, and I'm like, I mean, looking at DAC, I didn't see much difference between China and whatever, but at the same time, like, when I think of like certain players, a lot of them are from DAC and are in Europe. So I don't know. I'm curious to your opinion on this.
Well, I mean, I think it's just like the numbers game. So Europe has twice the player base of America, so you're just going to be able to fill out the lobbies with like higher skill level people. You're just going to be more consistently good lobbies. Uh, I think that's like the main thing, and then there definitely is like a meta difference. Like I know, and like I talked to Keen a lot. I'm pleased to play with him in Gravity or whatever. I'm like known him forever, but he plays on Korea a lot too, and he says in like Korea like Rangers are super popular. Just you'll never see like Rangers being played in NA or Europe, and then like in Europe, like people, I guess because of Dark Hydra, people just all spam that brawler assassin build, and it's pretty much just like all brawlers 24/7. And then in A, it's like a lot of like noble players and people playing like mages and things like that. But I think it's like it's just kind of like a meta that just based on people. Let's say you play in the lobby and somebody wins with that, you're like, well, I'm going to try that. I'm going to play that. That's good. So I just think like that kind of develops on its own. But a skill level, I don't think there's like a crazy difference. But you're gonna just because there's twice as many people in AE, you're probably gonna find like more people, more good players overall.
Right.
So
I mean, literally based on
like
differentials, right? Like top 200 in U versus top 200 in NA are like they're literally half the percentile, right? In
yeah.
EU.
And then I noticed like well, you guys all played DAC. Like it was impossible to get an NA game, right? Like it just they just didn't exist, right? Yeah. So like I think that like DAC and auto chess games had way more of a European or Korean player base. So like a lot of those characteristics that were brought over from there, like the econ management and things like that. I think that you see that kind of stuff a lot more in Europe. Whereas like let's say in NA, like after Krugs, everybody will just like hit level 6 and then roll down to 0 gold, just stupid shit like that. I never see people like managing sprees or it just like looks like just like less refined gameplay,
Yeah.
And that's just because they just obviously like never played the other auto battler genres.
I kind of agree with that one. Where like I feel like in NA they're more all in, and I'm like after Crooks I'm at like 40 gold on a full lose streak, and I'm feeling good, right? Like everyone has 0 gold level 6. I mean, I'm not dying that fast. I have a lot of money. I'll probably be like top 3 because I just have the eco advantage already. And yeah, that's true. Actually, I think right now people don't really realize how strong losing streaking is. I feel like losing streaking is very strong right now.
Yeah, it is.
I think no one's actually going for them. Like in DAC, at the end of DAC, it was super frustrating to play losing streak because there were always 3 people playing losing. And that's really annoying because if you lose your losing streak, it's more terrible like than losing your winning streak, right?
It was 3
That was
before
fun,
the
though.
morning.
I like that because then you'd have like, let's say that you're on like, you've lost 3 games in a row, and then you're like looking at the other 2 people that are also like open for it, and you like you have like 1 unit on the board, like fuck, and you got to take it off, and then
Yeah, it's like, do I play Dazzle?
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
I not
Do I play the Dazzle? I always
Yeah,
play the
yeah,
Dazzle.
yeah.
I was like, screw it, I'll get the 1 gold, I guess, and play the Dazzle.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
I think
I feel like sorry, I
You
want to
go
send my thing. I feel like you right now you can abuse losing streak a bit more. I think people will realize after a while that losing streak is the more viable, and when that happens, losing streak might become a little bit worse again. So because you have to put units on the field, right? Like not like in DAC where you can just bench everything and just open for it. So it's really annoying to actually like if more people go for losing streak, then that's really hard in this because
Well,
you have to
you can't
put
open, you can't put the unit.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, exactly.
I think what's really strong in this game though is largely just going eco rather than actually having the streak. Like the streak doesn't last that long. Like it's lasting like you get it you get it halfway through stage 2 and it lasts until like early stage 3, right? Like 3-3 is usually when people are start going in, right? With after losing streak, they try to win on stage 3. Stage
exactly.
3. So like
Yeah.
you don't actually streak for that long. So I think eco is just strong, which means that like if a bunch of people start going eco, that's fine. You're just gonna lose less health. That's okay.
Okay, eco. But I think losing it's still fine to go though. Like it still
Yes.
adds up to like 10 to 12, like 15 gold.
Yeah, it's still significant, right? Yeah.
Still
Yeah, I
pretty good.
actually really disagree with that. I think it's actually I think the streak is important, and I also think that
Really?
the only reason that people don't losing streak more right now is because it was so unacceptable in this game to losing streak before. Was early rounds, you took way too much damage, you would just die. And now with recent changes, losing streak is actually on the menu, but a lot of people are not familiar with losing streak from DAC, so they never actually like revisited it and gave it a shot. Whereas now we're like, oh, we take 1 damage from the courier, like, oh, I'm taking like 4 or 5 damage around instead of like 8 to 10. Okay, I can, let's see how long we can drag this out. And I'll go through Krugs. I'll like sometimes be like level 4 still. I'll see like everyone like leveling up. You see all the level ups on the side happening. You're like still not taking that much damage for some reason, and you're like, oh, I can just like chill for a while. I think the streak does like add up a lot and allows you to maintain the above 50 a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I won a game yesterday where I lost streak all the way into the wolves, and then I just like leveled 8. Yeah, I leveled 8 right after wolves, and then like hit the KL and like everything else, and I just like won the game.
That's
so I think you can do like a lot of
for it. It's funny.
Yeah, you can like you do a lot of cheeky stuff like that I don't think people have really went into. And it's just because like you would just get destroyed before if you did that. So I think that those strategies.
So we were actually so we had 2 rioters on the show 2 weeks in a row. It was 3 weeks ago and 2 weeks ago. We had a Riot Aleko and then Riot Ethic on the show, and we talked about loose streaking in both of those episodes. And one thing that was mentioned is that like pretty much agreed upon was that open forting wasn't something that like we really wanted that much, and that they didn't want is what it seemed like. And I feel like we're very close, maybe already there, especially the 9 gold start where open forting's fine. Like,
okay, I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done a 20 gold open for it? Yeah,
no.
It's actually like fine. Like it's now pirates are better, but like just open forting is just like you don't take like any damage, and it feels like they made changes that like are very obviously going to help that, namely the 1 less damage per round in stage 2. So I don't know. It was odd to me that they actually made changes that would support that, but I'm preferring it anyway because I feel like you should be able to play eco in this game if you want to, or play aggressive if you want to.
I mean, it's so niche though. Like you're describing a very niche scenario as opposed to DAC where it was like every game you'd be like, nah, fuck it, open for it.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in TFT, that's only gonna happen with like 9 gold starts or like very like extraneous circumstances. I think it's okay. Like the talk that we had with the riders, I feel like had to do with not always being able to choose open for it. So
I thought, well, the issue they had with it was largely that it's an unintuitive way to play. That, and in fact, I was talking about losing in general, but it's even more so not putting units on the board. But the idea of that you actually want to lose is an unintuitive thing that they were trying to avoid. But I'm very happy that's I'm personally very happy that's not the way that things have gone, because it's a very valuable strategic line to be able to go aggressive or passive and eco and lose streak, that kind of thing. So
yeah, especially with the carousel, I feel like if you can lose streak is actually pretty strong, right? If you can get that Cho'Gath, like which you needed, and you want to go like brawlers from lose streak with assassins, but you don't have a Cho yet, and you can get that from the carousel, like that's pretty huge.
Yeah,
like especially in the brawler assassin meta where like you don't need Cho'Gath 2. You only need Cho 1 basically, and if you can get it from the carousel, you don't even have to invest that much money on 6 to roll for it, or like 7. So I feel like that losing is pretty good.
It's an option. Like it's
an option.
That should be how it's like. Let's say in previous iterations of TFT, the only option was like I have to win, or you just get shit on, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So now it actually gives you like another avenue that you can go. Let's say you get like the 1 item start. And I think that's like a healthy for the game overall.
And but I feel like I think a lot of us are like, when we don't get a huge good start for win streak, what I do is mostly just eco and lose streak. Like if I don't get 4 big items, like 2 combined good items or something with like a few upgrades, I probably just try to lose streak or like eco. I don't know. I'm not win streaking. Like I'm probably win streaking like 1 in 8 games or something. All the other games, I just try to eco.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Spend my money wisely.
Anyway, moving on. There's the minor patch tomorrow. Unfortunately, on the minor patch weeks, we don't get the patch notes until the day the patch comes out, so we don't actually have them right now. We have the tentative changes, and we have some other PvE changes that have been shown. First of all, these are some just small buffs and nerfs. I'm not sure the bug fix is. We were hypothesizing the bug fix is the bench, not working on the bench, but honestly, we don't know. I don't know any other bug with Ionic Spark, but some changes here. Also, actually, we'll get to the healing changes in a little bit, but anything here that stands out to you guys that surprises you, maybe shouldn't be on here, or do you think that should be on here?
Well, if they nerf. I mean, I saw like they said they're gonna nerf nobles and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think that just like brawlers will just become like just
Take
stupid
over.
OP, and then
I mean, I think
already
they will.
have to-
I think they will nerf brawl as well. Like this is probably not.
Right. I
It's
mean,
not,
it-
it's not
Brawler
on the
meta didn't
list.
really
right.
catch on.
This is not
Yeah.
what's confirmed beyond the right. This was the tentative stuff from
This-
Friday.
Yeah,
I feel like
it was
Vi
from
is
Friday.
really missing on here.
Yeah, I mean, just some brawler nerfs, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Right? They're probably coming. I think they're there.
Do
I
you
think
guys
they know.
do you guys think like Rengar needs any changes? I personally I think it's just, like only the brawlers, right?
It's Vi.
Well,
Vi
yeah,
is-
yeah.
Vi is the only thing that needs to be nerfed. It's actually like the only OP brawler. Like Cho'Gath is where it should be. It's a 4-cost unit.
Sure.
And then all the other
So-
brawlers just suck ass.
I think
so.
Kha'Zix is still. I mean, he's not a brawler, but just overall, I think Kha'Zix is still overtuned. Like I think
Yeah.
I think 3 Void Kha'Zix 2-star is like just head and above everything else, and still transitions very well. I liked that 3 Nobles, which was previously like the best start, didn't transition well. I liked that feel of it. Like you got punished later on for having 3 Nobles, while with the 3 Void start, it transitions so well that I kind of take issue with how strong Kha'Zix is.
Yeah.
So guys, the chat has pointed out that the bug with Ionic Spark is that when it's disabled by Hex Tech, it doesn't come back online after 8 seconds. It just stays off
Gotcha.
the whole fight.
Thanks, chat.
That's good. Yeah, what I want to say. Oh yeah, I feel like they should change WoW a little bit. So I really like the troll buff from DAC, right? And I feel like they should nerf the 2 wild bonus, because I feel like Rengar is really strong because of the 2 wild bonus in brawlers as well. It's like 12%. It's quite a lot for Rengar, but it's never like good to go 4 wilds, because they should increase the attack speed when you get 4 and give it to everyone else, and then nerf the two wilds. I think. Then I think wilds might be a little bit more like better. I don't know. I don't like the 4 wild, and I think the 2 wilds like really strong.
Yeah, 2 Wild's insane, right? Like if you have like Nidalee 2 early with Wild buff is absurd, and then you hit Rengar and it's absurd. Like an Ahri is absurd. Like 2 Wild buff is nuts.
And it's not good to go 4 wilds.
Yep.
In the late game, because it's not enough. I feel like it's not enough attack speed I don't
And
know.
the units are just
feel
so
like it's not
different,
enough.
right?
Yeah,
Except
as well.
the fact that they have 2 shapeshifters, they're so different. Like, how am I running Ahri and Rengar in the same comp? I just,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah,
to justify that.
So I would like some change to, but I'm happy with the noble nerf, of course, because I feel like I don't like nobles at all, because I feel like it's way too big of a gamble. Like even going for 1 Cho'Gath in this meta is a gamble, I feel like, and I'm going for a kill. That's even
Yeah.
a bigger risk. That's I don't like that at all. Like I like playing comps that need 1 4 cost maybe, but like
Yes.
I don't like playing comps that need 1 5 cost. Like that's too much for me.
I went
But
Nobles
I feel like
once this
still
whole
people
patch.
go.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but I
tout
feel
that.
like people should go for
What? Really?
Once the whole patch, I went Nobles.
Oh my
single
god! I
time.
feel like so many people in all my games like go nobles. At least
Yeah.
I find that once the game is actually coming to an end, like 2 of the top 3 people are off the nobles. Like it's just like
Yeah.
who managed to manage their comp in a way that and rolled in a way that allowed them to transition to a noble comp would win the game. I feel like that happens so much.
But
Yeah.
I refuse to play in a way where I'm building towards a unit. I always say I build from
Yeah.
a unit rather than building towards a unit. And Nobles has to build towards a unit. Like you can build up paths of like pivoting away from it if you don't hit the KL, but you're like that's gonna kill your eco as well. So you're gonna be weaker in general as if you just didn't go for the Nobles.
I don't think it's that bad. Like you can, because you have like Leona. Like how I always did, I was just like forcing nobles every day just because they're stupid. But you have the Leona already, so you just use Braum until you hit the nobles. Then if you don't hit the nobles, you just end up running like a Draven comp or Imperials or something. And it's not like it costs you money to do that, and you just leave like them on the bench. So I think it's like it's an interesting way to play the game. I don't know how healthy it is, but
You're
yeah.
you're definitely not as shitty as goblins in DAZ. Like there are just like a lot more options for things that you can like splice in there to not be like just dead. Like you could definitely end up being like a guardian like ranger comp instead of like actually end up in a noble comp. Like there's definitely like eventually a point where you have to make a decision. But I definitely think if you're just avoiding noble comps, that has to be a mistake on this on the previous patch or on the patch that we're talking about.
I mean, it probably is, but I don't know. I don't want to put myself ever in a position where I feel like I need Kale, and I feel like I think Saint's totally right that like you can oftentimes put yourself in a position where you can do fine if you don't hit the nobles, but I think oftentimes as well people are in desperate scenarios where they have to hit the Kale because they don't have the money, right? Like it's not just money, right? It's also bench space. Like maybe I held on to more stuff on the bench than most people do, but holding on to a Garen, a Fiora, a Vayne, like that's a lot of bench space for me.
Yeah, after a while you have to give it up, and then you roll the kill, of course. But
Yeah.
that will always happen. But what I don't like is like I don't think kill needs a nerf though. Like the kill is getting nerfed again on the picture.
Yeah. This is 3 nerfs in a row.
I don't know about that. I think nobles nerf for sure. It's too rewarding right now.
Yeah.
But kill, I think kills.
How do you guys say it's too risky and it's too rewarding? Those are like I don't know. That's like so weird.
That's just how I play. Yeah, exactly. But
well,
it's just how I don't like to play.
You can't say it's both of those things though.
That's true.
I mean,
I don't know.
You can if you don't want that playstyle, right? So if you say it's too risky, too rewarding, right? We prefer it to be less rewarding and less risky, right? So that it's where we want more consistent rather than more risky and more rewarding, right?
So you want nobles to be shittier but kill the cost 4? Like, is that what you want?
No. That's not what I said. I said that's the reason I'm not going for it. That's the reason that I don't go for the build because I think it's too. I didn't say too rewarding, too risky, but I agree with that. I think it's too rewarding, too risky for me personally to warrant to go for nobles.
Yeah, I only
too
go
risky
for
really
ones.
is the issue, but yeah.
If I had like an insane noble start with like a Lucian 2 and good items on them, I'll go for nobles, right? Because I'm win streaking and I have like a lot of health. I can probably go to 8 easy and roll all my money for it. I think that's fine, but that's the only time I actually go.
Yeah, the one time I went nobles, I win streaked until stage 4. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it's that many requirements. Like I've played like a Lucian 2 with a couple Rangers, a couple Knights, a couple Guardians, and just like hung out for a while. And sometimes everything falls apart and you just can't stop the bleeding and you die. Sure. But like I think any comp can fall flat on its face. Sure. And I think it's not as risky as you guys are saying is, unless you're just trying to play a bunch of random noble units with like very few other synergies.
Okay. I just don't like them.
How do you guys? How do you guys feel about this Kale nerf? Because I'm with Rens on this. At like 3 Kale nerfs in a row, and the whole time every week I'm like, I feel like she's an example of a solid 5-cost unit. She's probably one of the along with Yasuo, she's like really stronger than like the rest individually. But that's fine. It's a 5-cost unit. You're allowed to have a 5-cost unit be individually strong. She's not insane to me, unless she's like 2-star Kale with a bunch of items, which it should be at that point. 5-cost that's 2-starred, so. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Do you guys think Kale nerf, Pheylop or Saintvicious? Do you guys think Kale nerfs are warranted right now?
I mean, I don't know. I think that they should just make the other 5 costs stronger, like Misfortune or Anivia, or I think that instead of nerfing the strong 5 costs should be strong. Like they should, they should be like Enigma or Tide Hunter. They should like be things if you get them, you win the game. If you can get them to start. But they just need to make it to where there's just not units that are just weak as just that are useless to get, because chances are you're gonna roll like 2 Anivias and then they're gonna roll the KL and then you're just gonna get dumpstered. It shouldn't be that like power disparity. Like that's not healthy.
I agree.
For me, I think that the Kale is like we're having issues with it being a standalone unit, or someone on the design team just had a really bad experience with Kale and it's just like nibbling away. Like it's just like the silliest nerf though. It's like this time 0.1 attack speed. This time 5 magic resist. This time 25 HP. Like it's like really weird changes, right?
They're very minor, yeah.
we're gonna increase the mana pool by 5, so 1 more auto attack because fuck yeah. You know, like I don't know.
Do they just
I
want to
don't
have
think-
Kale have the same attack speed as Fiora and Yasuo? Come on.
Well, that's all right. Usually balances stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys played League, but that's usually like their balance philosophy. Like they did the same thing to Pike, where they just nerfed him like 17 times in a row.
That's true.
And,
yeah, but then there are also
it's
times they just like completely demolish the champion, right? Same, like it's so weird how like if they can't find the solution that way, then they'll just like rework it or something.
Did they demolish
Well,
anyone?
Well, let's say like that happened with
Aatrox.
demons, and like,
Yeah.
well, that's just because like, I mean, Aatrox was strong, but it's because demons are strong,
Right.
you know.
Well,
So it's kind of like I think that they overlooked like that why it was strong, rather than just the unit. So
Aatrox is really strong individually, I think too. I think the nerfs are warranted, but 1-star Aatrox is just so mediocre now. But
Yeah, but that's fine.
My poor son.
So these are also on the PvE. Actually, I should rephrase this. They just removed, or a couple days ago, they removed actually the Grievous Wounds change, or the Morello and Red Buff change. The Morello's Red Buff change. Sorry, right?
well, they tweeted that they're not going to go through with that. So
Wait. They're not going through with. I thought they're not going through the Morello and Red Buff change.
yeah, like Mort or whatever tweeted out that they don't want to do that or something.
Okay.
And they said they're like happy with the way that healing works right.
So
Okay.
even the item changes are going through.
I'm pretty sure they're not changing anything right now. with
Okay,
any
it would
of
make
the-
it would make sense if
Oh, so this whole picture is just useless.
That's what I'm hearing. So how I
Okay,
how I
that's
read the
fine.
cheat and how I understood it is that they still were having the healing changes, which would be odd, right? Because it's kind of a package deal. But that's how I understood it. Okay, so if they're not doing it at all, then cool. How do you guys feel about Morello's and Red Buff right now? Do you think they are in a good spot right now?
I think they're fine now. I mean, it's like let's say before you get a Garen, you know, with like a Morello in like the opening round, it would just like dumpster everything for the whole game, and then you
Yeah.
put that on like a stronger unit later. It was just like that item. It was just like 2S tier. Now I feel like it's still like an item you have to have, you know, to win the game, but it's not like I don't feel like I'm just getting destroyed because I don't have it. Like there is sometimes you can win without having it.
Yeah, I agree. I like Morello's at the current state where it's like still fine. It's still pretty good, but it's not like so brokenly overpowered where like Kenny just one-shots the whole team, like, or Garen just like one-shots the whole team, or one-shots but like kills everyone by himself.
It's still
Like it
So I
shouldn't
think
have
it's
been
in a
like
good
as much of a nuke as it was, right? Like it was just like, oh, why is my unit literally getting quartered just for getting hit by a tick of like a Garen spin?
I still have the feeling that I need Morello's or Red Buff. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's a fine design.
I think that's fine
philosophy
for healing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't like 100% healing reduction. I hate that actually.
Yeah. I kind of agree with it. Then this makes BT like actually super useless.
Well, it makes the healing items really stupid, right? It's like either the healing items are like really fucking good and nigh unbeatable
Yeah.
if you don't have a red buff or a Morello, or like
That's true.
they wasted their item and made it like a BT and it doesn't do anything.
It's the same as the RFC Yordle problem, right? Like if you make Yordles good, even when RFC exists in the game, then they're going to be absurd against anything that doesn't have RFC.
I mean, it's very feast or famine, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm curious what Saint thinks about this because I know what you guys like. We've talked about this stuff a little
Yeah.
bit. I definitely want a new perspective on it.
What, Yordles? Or
Oh
healing?
no, like just like the idea of like how healing works. Whether it's like either insane and incredible or completely useless, depending on like what items have been created.
I mean, BT's what, 50% healing?
Mhm.
I mean, you guys probably play a lot of other games, but I don't know any game in existence
Yeah,
that has
50%
50%
lifesteal.
healing. Yeah, it's
quite
usually
nice.
like it's like
10 or
you get
50%.
5% or 10%, you know. So, and like even that's enough. So like Draven autos one time he gets full health, right? So
Yeah.
I just think that the numbers don't match up there somewhere, and that's like part of the problem, and that's why the healing. Anti-healing has to be so crazy. And then also like with Swain, I don't know if you guys know about the Morello bug, or you guys know about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like he gets the healing off the Morello, so that's like one of the
Oh,
reasons
I didn't know
why.
that.
Yeah, that's why he actually heals so much. Is
That makes sense.
He's healing like 2 or 3 times what he should be. So it's
That
just like
makes sense. Okay.
the healing sources are so overtuned and that's why like the anti-healing is like so needed. So there just needs to be like some middle ground there where probably just nerf the healing sources and then you can like go after the anti-healing. I think it just needs to be done like that.
So like this picture is kind of that direction though, right? Like, so like, do you think that this picture like would have been okay? I mean, like changing Morello and Red Bull like that seemed like pretty bad, but everything else seems okay. I think.
I didn't really see like the details on it, but I mean, I'm sure like it needs to be changed in some way, and they'll probably get it in the future. But it might not be this patch that needs to be done since, yeah, I mean, they are like, let's say, since they're targeting healing, nobles are also one of like the candidates of that, where just the healing is absurd. So it looks like they are like going into that, and maybe they just weren't happy with how it felt like in game. So I'm sure they'll find an answer to it.
I was excited to see Warmogs not get touched by this, and then and then Grievous Wounds get nerfed. It might have still sucked, but I want to see how that would shape up. Fortunately, nope. There's one more thing. I don't have a picture for it, but there's one more thing that's being changed. It's major, but it won't be tomorrow. It'll be next week probably. Pantheon got introduced. It's a Guardian Dragon. 5 cost.
Goofiest fucking tags for Pantheon.
Yeah, I know. Guardian Dragon, but or Dragon. Is it Dragon Guardian or Guardian Dragon?
Doesn't matter. Dragon Guardian, I think is what it'd be, right?
Yeah, Dragon Guardian. Okay. Yeah. So he gets Grand Skyfall from League of Legends, but it's a bit different. It's he ults somewhere, he ults at a target, and then he does damage to everyone that he goes across. So it's not like a giant meteor that's hitting the ground like it is in League of Legends. And if you guys ever saw the clip of it, it does a lot of damage. It had 6 Sorks, but it did a lot of damage.
And it was 2 stars.
Yeah.
Wait, Nature, you know it's exactly the same as the League of Legends was, but because they just reworked Pantheon, right?
Okay, no, I didn't know what the reworked Pantheon was. Okay, so it is the current Pantheon.
Yeah, they just reworked Pantheon. It's the same old. So
okay, that makes sense. But
it looks awesome, dude. The clip looks really fun. Like the animation looks sick. I really like it. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun to play Sorks with him.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be a way better dragon to run in Sorks than Shyvana if you run dragons.
Exactly.
So,
isn't the ult very similar to Leona's ult?
Why?
I have no idea. I haven't gotten to play on PvE recently, so it's like hard to get games on PvE.
I guess when I was reading it, it sounded like a lot of AoE damage, and then one unit got stunned. So like it just sounded like kind of what Leon does, where like an area gets damaged and one unit gets stunned.
Yeah, but the unit's not going to be alive anyway.
But it's weird that they're doing both like 2 guardians having a similar ult. That's interesting.
I mean, it's a really big AoE, right?
Yeah.
So I think his is focused on the damage, and Leona's is focused on being 8 seconds long. So
yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm sure, actually, I don't know. I was say I'm sure people will be playing on PvE next Tuesday, but maybe not, because last time it was like such a major patch, which maybe it'll be smaller, because this is only 1 champion before it was a whole new origin and 4 champions, right? So maybe not.
I might play like a few games on PvE, but I would play like last week was such a big patch that I felt like I kind of needed to play on it, otherwise I would be clueless starting to play. But I feel like if it's like a decently small patch, I don't really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
didn't play a few games.
I didn't play on PvE either, Saint, by the way. Like, it's not enough changes to warrant that. Anyway, let's talk about the meta. Brawlers. And nobles. Nobles should be on here as well, but Saint, you spent a lot of time with making tier lists, comp lists. I know you update those very regularly. I want to hear your thoughts on maybe like even coming from your comp list. What have you think? What has been your thoughts on what's dominant, or even like what's even right below dominant? What's been your experience over this last week?
I mean, it's like I talked about before. I think it's just region dependent. Like I saw Dakeen, I was like, oh yeah, they're playing assassins a lot neat. And then like he's like, okay, I'll try to play it. And he's like playing like Korea, and then he just gets dumpstered because like everybody's like playing like corner humping comps and like these like Guardian Rangers and like weird stuff. I don't know, they just play like weird stuff, or they'll play like Morgana Kennen comps a lot. That's like really popular over there. So it's like things that are dominant in one region are not going to be as dominant in another, or work out as good. And you said you like to play Elemental Sorks. So I don't know if you're playing like the Yordle Sorks or what kind of version you are. Yeah. So it's like you're playing that because you play on EU, right?
No, I play NA.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, in NA, I feel like just half the lobbies playing nobles or Jinx or Draven or some shit. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just like, yeah, like things are gonna be strong in like region dependent or like what people are
So
playing.
so do you go a different
That's what I was
comp
gonna
on a
say,
different server?
Yeah,
Do you
like
like,
in NA, like if you want to win, in NA, if I want to win, I just play assassins because literally
okay.
everybody just plays Draven or Jinx. Like that's just like nobody plays Sorks. It's just only Draven or Jinx. But in EU, it's like half the lobby is playing assassins. So it's like, all right, well, I'll just play some Yordle Sorks or something, you know, or I'll play something that's going to work out here against that. And I think it just works out a lot better. And it's just like brawlers are just so contested. It's like you never hit the Cho'Gath. Like you can like rarely get a buy two or whatever. It's just it's a big pain in the ass. So you kind of like got to think outside the box, I think.
Yeah, I think the only person I've heard, maybe Keen does that as well, but the only person I've heard from that says that they swap playstyle depending on the region. That's awesome. I've
Yeah, I like that
I mean,
as
it
well.
sounds really smart.
yeah.
I just play one comp that I think it's strong right now, and I played on both servers. Yeah,
yeah, Ren just
totally.
forces it over and
Smarter.
over.
Yeah,
Brawler
bro.
assassins every game.
Yeah.
Didn't hit Rengar 2, I'm dead.
Well, I mean, Rengar 2, not hitting Rengar 2 is like, that doesn't happen that much, though.
Yeah,
I'm,
it's
re-
true.
I'm really curious what's causing like Rangers to be playing Korea, whereas like no one else is playing
Well,
Rangers.
I have no idea.
they play that the demon. It's like I made a build for it like a couple weeks ago. It's just like we have demon kindred, and then you make like it's like a 4 demon comp. It's really really weird. They just stack demon and they just like spam arrows or like kindred ult. I don't know. It's just a weird. It does like no damage, but and then like you can do like the Hurricane Ash build where you have like red buff
Yeah.
or something like that, and like 4 glacials and just like perma CC people. Which I think
It's
that
like-
comp's really good against like Draven and Jinx comps, just because you just lock them out.
I can't make it work. I can't make any Ranger anything work. Just
Yeah,
It's
that's why they
hard.
probably go. That's why they probably go spatula more, right? Because they need like
Yeah.
the runes and the demon item for
Yeah.
it, so they probably take way more spatulas for that.
Well, you have to lose streak. You have to lose the
Yeah.
first few rounds, and then yeah, they try to make like the hurricane. Like the spatula is super important. So,
Yeah.
and that's actually how like I don't know if you guys ever
That's probably
talked to
part of it.
Milk, but that's like how he used to play his Rangers every time. Is he would always like try to lose to get the first spatula off the carousel, and then he'll just take over the hurricane, or like he'll play him like gunslingers, where you just like on hit and debuffs and stuff. So
Is he still
I think
playing
it's-
Rangers?
nah, he hates them.
He hates him now? Okay.
he doesn't play him at all.
So
I think
only
they just
Korea.
lose against brawlers. Like I feel like they can't kill brawlers Rangers. Like they just have no damage. Like they can't deal with high HP units, so they don't kill them fast. They just lose.
Dude, those static shivs deal like what % of their health though?
Wow.
Look at there.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It might work in like different regions, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like in EU, I don't know, man. You're gonna have a rough time, I think, playing Rangers. Like I played against some Rangers, but it's a small sample, but they all got 8 or 7. Like I just run a shitty ass comp. I didn't hit anything, but there were Ranger players, so I beat them, so I didn't get last. Like it was that bad. Like I was
Well,
so
it's weird.
happy there were Rangers.
In NA, like Rangers are so open, and still no one really plays them.
You can do like Sork Varus. I like Sork Varus a lot. I don't know if you guys play that. It's like,
Yeah,
I
for
used
sure.
to. I used to, and I stopped. Like once they nerfed his air damage, it didn't feel as good to me. But maybe I should think about it more.
I think if you can get Varus with like a Yuumi or a Rageblade, you just like auto win the first like 15 PvP rounds or whatever. Like I actually think demons are super underrated for opener. I think they're actually the strongest opener in the game.
But you
Yeah,
think they're better
demons
than
are
Void Ka too? Really?
Yeah, like I mean, you will. It just shits on Kha'Zix because you just mana burn him, and then you just position like a bait unit to like eat the Kha'Zix, you know, so it doesn't go on your guy. I just think that like if you have any attack speed, the demon debuff is actually like, where you're like building mana is actually so strong. I mean, you should try it. I don't know, but I've always had success with it.
Okay.
I feel like the demon comp is very fun to play. I don't know why. Probably because you don't see it that much and you don't play it that much. But every time I play it, for some reason I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and
So,
it's
I don't know,
open
it
too.
feels-
You always get the units. You always get the units.
Yeah, I've tripped into a lot of demon comps lately.
I did a tier list right before this, and I was saying I know that I underrate demons. Like I know that they're good, but I always anytime I end up having brand, like I don't have like a Varus 2, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna have Sorks and Ellies instead. I don't know.
A stacked brand is just so awesome. Like
Yeah, yeah,
brand
it
does
is.
so much damage. Holy moly!
Yes.
He can Pepega a lot. Like that's the only bad thing, but he can do so much damage. Holy.
It also just feels like demon units in general are very good. Like only Elise is really bad, and like playing a couple demon units, you're like, oh, this is fine. Like Eve is actually like fine now, right? So she was bad before, and then there were multiple bad demons, but now it's really only Elise that's not good. I think the other
He's
ones are
kinda broken.
all good. So
If you had your pick for level 7 comp with 4 demons, what would it be? Like I don't care what the actual demons are, but just the overall combo, what would it be?
I mean, you could do demon shapeshifters if you can get,
Swing.
like, yeah, or like a 3-star at least, or you can do like you just like demon elemental like sword comp if you get like the Yumi, and you can carry
Okay,
over into the
yeah.
rest of
So I think that's part of what my issue's been is I haven't been like I value Spat really high and I go for Yumi and then but I haven't actually been going for Yumi Varus. I think that's probably what I've been missing because that's what part of my issue is. If you want 4 demons, at least and Sork's level 8, and that means they're gonna be a lot weaker at level 7. I think it's probably my issue is I haven't been when I get Yumis, I've been thinking as much about actually just being able to run 4 demons, 3 at least 3 Sorks.
Yeah, I usually add like the 4 demon at 8 if you play that comp. So you play elemental, 3 demons, Sorks, and then you add the 4th demon,
I ran
or you
it.
get like a demon item.
I ran it yesterday, and I added the elementals last, but it turns out we upgrade a lot of the time, right?
Yeah,
So-
you can add the elemental.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
I think I sometimes end up playing like Imperial demons, and that's weird. It's like Imperial demons and like an extra knight.
You mean
Well, I don't
Yeah,
think
that's weird.
I don't think you have to run elementals. I think that's like a big misconception.
No, you don't
Like,
have
you can make like Demon Sejuani or like any of the front line, like Pop. You can run like Poppy Sejuani, like any of that stuff.
No, but I think you still run Brand and Kenny,
Oh, yeah.
right? Or don't you run Kenny? Yeah.
I don't think you like have to run Cannon.
No, okay, but you pick him, right? If you go for that comp, you still pick him up in the mid game. Still
I
buy him
don't
if
like
it's
Cannon that much anymore.
Okay.
Half
Really?
the time you get like your GA and your Morello, and then he's like on the front line, right? And then you just get hex stacked, and then he just gets fucking one shot. And you're like, oh, I lost the game. It just happens like every time.
That's
And I was
true.
like, all right, I'm not doing this anymore.
That's
Yeah,
one issue I've
that's
been having.
something true.
That's one issue I've been
That's true.
having with me going Ellie Cirque so much is like, yeah, sometimes it just gets hex decked and then I lose. But I feel like I've been having such a good mid game that my health has been stable. Like I lose in the early game because I'm usually going econ, and then I don't lose like any of late stage 3, early stage 4 at all. So
I haven't built a cannon too in like 10 games.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
feel like I'm
though.
doing it wrong.
You get 3-star like every game if you go for it. I feel like.
I've been getting 3-star Morganas. I love 3-star Morg.
Dude, I
Really?
love 3-star Rengar, by
Yes.
the way. Just want to throw it in there.
Well, okay.
3-star
Great. Yeah. we all
so
love
do all of
3-star
us.
Rengar.
Thank you.
Dude, I don't know. You guys keep telling 3-star. I like 3-star Rengar. You know,
Well,
we all have
I-
a different-
auto attack carry. Good at 3 stars. Who would have guessed?
I don't know. You guys like Kenny, Morgana. I like Rengar.
I didn't mention
Throwing
any
out there.
3-stars.
No, I mean, you
All right,
probably
Nature. I
died before you
know. I know. Saint said he only has an hour with us, so if we have any more pointed questions that we would like him to answer, I think we should drop one more.
Well, we're on the meta section. There's one thing we didn't talk about that I think it was a lot more prevalent at the very start of the patch, but I want to talk about it, is Blade Masters. The most common time I see Blade Masters are just in Nobles. Do you guys think that there's much viability outside of that? It's the last thing. No?
You play with Imperials,
Imperials?
right? With like the 2 Guardians, 4 Imperial, 2
Yeah.
Blade Master.
I feel like I always lose.
Really? Like, what do you feel like?
beat with that? Who do you beat with that comp?
I mean, it's really like Swain reliant or Yasuo. It's like you either you have to have the Swain or the Yasuo. Like it's if you don't get those units, then you just get dumpstered. But it's like something. It's like one of the only pivot options you can do if you're like going for nobles and you don't hit like the KL. It's like
that is.
I think it's just like something you have to go for. And then also, I mean, I think like that comp is also really like Hurricane reliant on Draven. Like I think if you don't have Hurricane on Draven, because you guys know like Blade Master works with Hurricane, right? Where it procs off the secondary autos, so it's like you get like max attack speed. So I think that's like really overlooked, and it gives you AoE also. So just stuff like that, or putting like Morello on Leona, just random shit like that. I think
Morello and Leona. I've never done that.
it's actually really good. Yeah, like
I think started doing that. I'm not sure though.
Yeah,
saw
I got that from him, and I was like, "This is so stupid." And
Yeah,
then I was like,
yeah.
I tried. I was like, "Oh, this is actually really," because she always targets the carries, like for some reason, and then
Yeah.
it actually applies Morello AoE as well, and she
Yeah,
usually gets
right.
like 3 ults off a fight.
I guess they're sitting
Wow.
there stunned for 8 seconds burning. Like
Yeah, it actually like one shots a Draven. It's hilarious. So
But like
Wow.
even mana items on Leona are insane.
yeah,
Like
I've
I
been
gave her
doing that.
Seroth and like
Yeah.
instant build. Like holy moly, that's so strong. Like I've been underrating this unit for a little bit, probably. She's so strong, man.
I mean,
the tab stack.
Yeah.
I also find that Blade Masters like are pretty splashable sometimes, where like you can easily be playing 2 Blade Masters and build a Bork, and you have 3, and it's like it's not the hardest thing to like have in a comp, because like if you roll a Yasuo, you don't feel bad about playing as a unit, and you might already have like a Draven carry, and then if you have a Bork, it's just like, oh, instantly Blade Masters.
Yeah,
Like,
you can do stuff like that. Like that
Yeah.
I would never like be like, "Oh boy, I got Camille," or
Yeah.
like, I'll never.
Yeah.
You only go it if you actually hit like the Yasuo or the Draven.
I've-
The Draven.
Sure.
But
So
it's
with the
flexible.
Blade Master thing, it's like you don't go noble, so you kind of have to go like something Blade Master.
Yeah.
But I never win the game off. Like I'm never like, really happy, right? Like when I'll try to survive as long as I can, but I won't ever win the game with that.
I don't think it's ideal.
It's unwinnable unless you get like the Swain or the Yasuo,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah,
That's just
exactly.
how it is.
And then 2-star probably.
But I mean, isn't that how like most comps are? You don't hit the.
Um,
What's a comp besides like Voids, or what's a comp besides Brawlers that you can win without a legendary? I think that's 2 stuff. Really
well,
Ellie Sorks.
Yeah.
nice.
I don't
I just
think you
won with it without a
that.
legendary. Literally last game.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah, but then you're relying on Brand 2 or
Yeah. I mean, I
or,
absolutely had. Yeah, I literally had Brand 2, Morg 3, Acel 2. Like, yeah. But
I mean, you can rely on the lobby low rolling. That's
okay.
and then you can easy.
All right.
Well,
Oh,
thanks for
that's
having me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to head out. I got my girlfriend's birthday dinner, so.
Okay. Well, thank you so
Um,
much for being on the show, Saint. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Everyone here knows who you are, but regardless, if that for that one person that doesn't, where can they find you before you go?
You should check out my stream. It's twitch.tv/Saintvicious. I usually stream the night shift or EU time, so yeah, feel free to catch me.
Check him out. He's super
All right.
good. Thank you so much for being on the show, Saint. Have a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
See you later.
Enjoy dinner, man. Thanks.
Rens,
Thanks.
Pheylop, thanks for being here. And our webcams are all messed up. That's totally fine. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Yeah, it's gonna be all from us. We are now on a ton of different websites. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on Pocket Casts. We're on almost everywhere. We're still waiting on Apple. It's the only one we're missing right now. So if you want to listen to us on an audio only platform, then you should do that. If you go to my Twitch channel and type in the chat !point podcast links, you'll have all the links up here, and we'll also be putting them in the YouTube description. So thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.